Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler V Series V's I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I want to get to this review especially because for some reason my mouth is weirdly dry. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, try out food and or drink items for you. Sorry. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering around about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm in my back room today, which means we get Beer Can Thunderbolt poster. Ooh, Beer Can Thunderbolt poster. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it? I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today? Happens to be my New York versus the World shirt. Yeah, buddy. With matching missing tooth. Yeah. But what is New York versus the World? New York versus the World is a comic book series from the imprint Unstoppable Comics, helmed by the magnificent and magnanimous and very nice guy, J.D. Rosario. I'm a bit of a comic book nerd. I have been, ever since I was a kid to some extent, varying degrees over the years. And, some years back, I went over there and I ran into J.D. Rosario's stuff. He was promoting his stuff through Kickstarter. And, I decided to go over there and back some of his campaigns. And I've ended up becoming a lifelong fan. I think all this stuff is incredible. If you happen to be interested in that at all, by the way, let me know. I can go over there and point you in the right direction as far as his work is concerned, because he has a tremendous amount of it available, and I promise it's all good stuff. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why is my mouth so dry? I don't know why my mouth is so dry. I just got through eating some noodles, but typically that doesn't make my mouth dry. I don't know. But hopefully this will help with that, because, folks, I'm going to be reviewing something for you that happens to be a beverage, and it just so happens to be, boom, still caught it. It is from the Northern Soda Company, Minnesota made, don't you know. This is their Due North Craft Soda. It's an old-fashioned lemon lime soda. Okay, this soda was handcrafted in a small batch from real sugar, premium ingredients, and filtered water by people passionately pursuing soda pop perfection. 1950s style craft soda. Okay, let's get a thing for a thing here. It's very Christmassy, Okay, we'll do this. Ha 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 ha. Now here's the thing. I've reviewed some stuff from the Northern Soda Company before. I did I think it was their blue raspberry soda. I think their orange soda. I think I even did their root beer. These are definitely higher end craft sodas. They're pricey. And I'll be honest, I've yet to find one that I really particularly enjoy. I don't hate any of them, but maybe the lemon lime soda will do it for me. Let's give it a go. If nothing else, hopefully it'll wet my palate appropriately. It smells like a lemon lime soda, but I'm not getting a citrusy bite from the scent. Nor from the taste. It is a very creamy lemon lime soda. And I don't know that that's something I'm overly enamored with, but let's go in for a second sip. It's a very thick tasting soda. And I don't know if that's because of the real, the cane sugar. Because here's the thing. I reviewed plenty of sodas. I've had so many sodas throughout the course of my life. And it's one of those things, you see that cane sugar label and you think, oh boy, this is, cane sugar, blah, blah, blah. The reality is, I've rarely found cane sugar to be an ingredient that I'm overly fond of having in my soda. And I mean, some of that I'm sure is just, I'm used to, the processed stuff, what have you. And there are definitely some very solid cane sugar sodas. I'm not saying there are none. But like usually for me, it just kind of makes the drink taste heavier. And while yeah, it's kind of a smoother, again, kind of creamier experience, that's not really what I want from a lemon lime soda. I want a striking lemon lime flavor with a nice, acidity to it. That citrus hit. Think your Sprites, your 7 Ups. And for me especially, I'm more of a Sprite person than I am a 7 Up person because I like that bite. I like that crispness that you get from it. This is not crisp. It is somewhat refreshing, but because it also has that heaviness to it, it limits the refreshing aspect of it as well. So like it's not doing, it doesn't have the crispness that I like from a Sprite, and it doesn't have the refreshing nature that I like from a 7 Up. So it's just this kind of like smooth, weirdly creamy tasting lemon lime soda that I don't know. I can see there being a market for this, but I am not the market. And honestly, because of the cane sugar and what the fuck ever, you don't really get like a nice vibrant hit from that lemon lime. It's a very muted lemon lime flavor. And like that, it is a rare thing for me to kind of upturn my nose at a lemon lime soda because typically they're an easy win. Just get lemon lime, make sure it's citrusy tasting. Even if it's not that great, I'll usually give you a pass. This one, and kind of what I feel has been the case with all of the Northern Soda Company stuff that I've had, again, like there is a market for it. I'm not saying it's a bad product, but I do kind of feel like it's, while they're searching for soda perfection, I think that's great. And to find people of Minnesota, good on you. I just personally think that they're just, you know, it's a whole Emperor's New Clothes type of thing where they're just putting on a bunch of stuff and using fancy things and advertising and but at the end of the day, while I don't think it's a bad product, I don't personally think that it has like much appeal, at least for me. It's again, I'm sure it does. And I'm not trying to knock anybody who really likes this stuff, but for me it's just, again, I think this is about the fourth flavor I've had from them and I fully intend to try more of them. But especially for what you pay for, I'm not all that into it personally. But it did help with my dry mouth, so points there. Two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? No and kinda. Here's the thing. For me, I want to like Northern Soda Company. I want that expressly known. I have nothing against Minnesota or the Northern Soda Company or anything like that. I want to enjoy every soda that I try. But some just don't hit for me. And again, I think that with Northern Soda Company, I don't think that they're doing a bad job, but the job that they're doing does not match what I'm personally looking for from a soda. At all. Again, I have not found one yet that I really particularly vibe with. That may change. I hope it does. But this one that I thought was going to be an easy win, I don't personally believe that it's much of a win for me. It's okay. I don't hate it or anything. I don't find it disgusting or it's fine. But I also don't find it to be particularly enjoyable or memorable beyond the fact that the memory of disappointment. And that's why if I recommend it, because like I'm sure that there are people who would like this. When I think of like my friend Joe, he does not really like heavily carbonated drinks. And although there's a decent amount of carbonation in this, it doesn't have that bite to it. Again, it's more creamy tasting. This might be something that he could get behind if you are that type of person where you want your soda to be less, forceful. This could be a thing. It still has nice flavors to it. They're just a little bit muted in my opinion. But again, I'm sure there are people who probably be down with this, but excuse me. The thing that I would have to do is to go over there and say, I kind of see it as being a niche soda. And I think that, when you go, if, whenever I find it, it's typically at, like a little bit of a nicer kind of supermarket type of thing. You see them, they're all pretty and they cost a lot. Because it cost a lot. it looks very inviting and impressive, but at least for me personally, I have not found them to be particularly impressive. And while I'm sure there are some people out there who would be perfectly down with these, this is kind of a buyer beware one because for what you're paying, I don't know, man. I just don't know that the risk versus the reward is there. For some people, sure, but sorry, Minnesota. I love you, but 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Spectacular rest of your week. Monumental rest of your month. Stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there, have yourselves a truly Minnesota-tastic rest of your life. Because again, folks, I mean, I've never been to Minnesota that I'm aware of. Maybe I went there once, but I just don't know. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. When we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, let me know, have you had anything from Northern Soda Company, and what's your take on it? Obviously, there's an appeal, you know. I don't live in Minnesota, so it clearly has traveled. And again, like, I don't want to knock them or anything like that. I'd really like to like their stuff, but I haven't found one yet that really clicks with me. But I'm going to keep hunting. Anyway,